hell. It's like fucking cars.
Insurgency Sandstorm is one of my favourite games of all time, and its recent free update, Operation Livewire, has inspired me to revisit this underrated gem of a game after an 8-month break. And I'm glad to say that I love this game just as much as I did all that time ago.
You're as beautiful as the day I lost you.
And for the nearly 5,000 of you that subscribe to this channel for my old Sandstorm content back in the day, you're very well aware of my feelings towards this game and just how much I love it. Sandstorm is without a doubt one of the most underrated competitive FPS games on the market, and there is no other game that comes close to its atmosphere, sound design, and of course its gunplay. And with the recent announcement that they're coming to the Xbox Game Pass, I'm hoping this video can persuade some of you to try this game out. So if you do enjoy the video, please leave a like, it really does help me out a lot, and consider subscribing if you like hearing about some of the best games out there. So let's very quickly touch on what they've added in this new free update called Operation Livewire. We've got two very sought after guns for the gunner class, the M60 for security and the RPK for insurgents. So all you gunner mains can finally rest easy after 3 years. We've got a bunch of new cosmetics, including the dribbiest insurgent you'll ever see. You can now roleplay as Tachanka from Siege, and we've finally got a blackout skin set for some of the weapons, including my baby, the Tavor 7. If the OG subs are still here, you'd remember from my very first weapon review video I did, I chubbed up at the thought of a blacked out Tavor 7.
You what?
And I finally got it. First I got the Chrome Deagle, and now this. NWI got me quaking, dude. And the main star of the show is the new game mode called Defusal, which is similar to Search and Destroy from Call of Duty, but I'd say it's closer to Rush from Battlefield. It's a 12v12 game mode with infinite respawns, which sounds a little funky to begin with because I was expecting a one life type game mode, seeing as most bomb defusal game modes are, and I honestly wasn't a fan of it at the beginning, but as you play more, the respawns actually make for a very fast-paced, action-packed mode that is a lot of fun.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
So the premise is pretty straightforward, especially if you've played Rush before, but to give a very quick explanation, the security team must defend 2 bomb sites from the attacking insurgent team. If the clock runs out, security wins, and the insurgents win if they destroy both objectives.
Why did it go there? No, I pick up the opportunity. Pick up. Nice. I think it's 3 minutes.
So for the people that aren't aware of what this game is, Sandstorm is a hardcore first-person shooter that balances realistic game mechanics with a healthy amount of an arcade-ish feel like you'd see in a Call of Duty franchise. Now, I'm really not into comparing games to other games, but the very simple explanation of what Sandstorm would be to call it a more slow, hardcore, and semi-tactical version of Call of Duty, with a little more emphasis on the hardcore part. The movement is slow yet precise. You'll never feel restricted or like you're stuck to the ground with super glue, and as you get better at the game, you'll learn how to do advanced movement techniques like crouch jumping, bee hopping, and slide boosting. Now you might think that kind of movement is a little goofy in a game like this, but if there's one thing I want you to understand about the Insurgency franchise is that it's never tried to be realistic. It's never tried to be a milsim. They've always strived for the perfect balance of arcade and realism, like I said. Oh, fucking get dick, dude. Please tell me someone's seen that. Whether you're more of an Insurgency Source fan or you much prefer Sandstorm like me, I think there's one thing that the community can agree on, and it's that Insurgency Sandstorm has probably the best gunplay of any competitive FPS on the market for the past probably decade at this point, and I'm serious too. The only other games that come close in my opinion are PUBG and Rainbow Six Siege. The gunplay in Sandstorm is just that fucking good. Everything about it is so satisfying, from controlling the recoil to one-tap sniping someone with a sniper, the game makes every kill you get feel impactful and rewarding, like you've earned it. The game utilizes a hybrid system of hit scan and bullet velocity. So what I mean by that is, depending on the weapon's bullet velocity, each weapon has a determined hit scan range where the bullet will be instant. So where you click, that's where the bullet will go. So for example, if a gun has a velocity of 630 meters a second, that means its hit scan range is 63 meters, and anything past that is where the bullet will become simulated and will be affected by travel time. One of the best things about Insurgency is that nearly every gun is viable.
Wait a minute!
Meanwhile,
There isn't really a strict meta that people obey. You can just grab a gun that looks cool and you're set. Of course, there are stronger weapons than others, but I've never raged at someone for using a specific gun. Most of the time when you die, it's your own fault, not the cause of someone using a busted gun or anything. Sandstorm's recoil is also challenging but not overbearing. Your screen isn't shaking due to an absurd amount of visual recoil, or the average gun won't jump to the sky with one trigger pull. There isn't a crazy amount of random recoil, but there aren't strict recoil patterns either. And once you master the recoil of a weapon, it makes it that more satisfying to spray someone from across the map. Even with Sandstorm's slower movement and fast time to kill, that doesn't stop the game from being incredibly fast paced. This game can be balls to the wall fast, then slow and tactical where it calls for it. Each game mode requires precise knowledge about which angles to hold, when and where the enemies will spawn, grenade spots, when to walk silently and when to rush, and which guns are best suited for the environment. There are a million things I love about Sandstorm and 1,000 other things the game does right, like proximity chat where the entire enemy team can hear you, the actual teamwork required to win a game where having a strong commander and observer role can determine the outcome of a game, the sound design, the graphics, the customization, the animations, voice acting. Everything about this game is so underrated, and it kills me that it's flown under the radar all these years. Anyway, that's all from me for now. I just wanted to talk about my favorite shooter for a little bit. I'm going to leave you with some gameplay now so you can see what the game is all about.
Oh, it's just ain't learning. Clear him, Globe. Oh, aggressive, these booms don't know what's going on.
Okay, grenade out!
Floor. Roger.
That's their spawn, they just hit a respawn. Right? Nice, let's hope that shoot everyone. No, they're just gonna respawn. Yeah. Watch the respawn wave. Coming from where that smoke is.